let you go since I know that you are exhausted.
No, that's okay. Yeah, thanks for having us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. You know, the reason I like to say that about seeing America, you know, when I retired from TVA, that was almost 20 years ago. Well,
TVA?
yeah, Tennessee Valley Authority, where I worked. 17 years ago, I retired from that job. And what I did, I went to the West Coast and rode my bicycle from the Pacific to the Atlantic.
Okay.
On the back roads of the United States. The only city we went through was Albuquerque, New Mexico. That was literally the only city we went through.
And approximately what was the distance?
3,000 kilometers, 2,700 miles, 3,000 miles, I guess, not 3,000 kilometers.
Yeah, about 4,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's 2,000 miles, that would be close to 5.
3,000 miles.
Yeah, that would be close to 5, probably 5.
But what I'm saying is that in going across the United States, what was wonderful was what David does. And we did it every day. We would talk to the people along the way. You know, we would talk to the people.
Get acquainted with the
We just met the people. You're on a bicycle. You're vulnerable. People want to talk to you. And they want to talk to you. Well, what are you doing? Where are you from? You know, and you just meet so many fascinating people. You know, we met, you know, people that were scientists, that were authors of books, that were, you know, they were just, I mean, just amazing, just on the back roads of
cultural salad,
the culture, you know, and it was just fascinating as could be. So that's America. You know, I mean, I think I have seen America because I've ridden on a bicycle at slow speed, meeting people, talking to people, coast to coast.
Slow speed.
Yeah.
Today, slow speed is not something common, not something people like.
No. Interestingly, in the 2000 election, the year 2000, it was George Bush and Al Gore. They tied number-wise, the amount of votes, they were just about tied. But 89% of the counties in America voted for George Bush. So almost 90% of the counties voted for George Bush, although the election was tied. That means that all the heavily populated the regions, the heavily populated regions on both coasts are real liberal. So they all went for Al Gore. But 89%, that got all. If you look at the map, you'll just see blue streak, but all of these counties in the middle will be voted for George Bush, and so that's America, you know. So if you see what Reb was saying, if you just see Los Angeles, Los Angeles, which is on the coast, New York, which is on the coast, Chicago is on the border, you know. Then you really haven't seen, you know, that vast expanse of America that's in the middle, that's way more conservative than either New York or California. And for a lot of people, like we voted for California to leave America, we would just vote yes automatically. We should say let them go. Kind of like the Canadians in Quebec.
I heard something about Texas for sure.
Texas, another state,
Yeah, Texas is like other country.
So California says we're going to succeed. We just say good, go. You know, that's what we would say. Yeah, I guess you would say the same thing, Reb. Would you give California away?
No, I wouldn't. I would be like, I want Reagan. I want Reagan to get it back. I think there's enough. I've been to California a bunch of times.
You think there's enough to bring them?
I do. I've been there. You know, for 14 years I worked at bicycle race in California.
Yeah.
14 years I worked at bicycle race all over the state, and you get outside L.A. You get outside San Francisco.
Outside the coast.
That is exactly what the United States is, the exact same way.
Yeah.
So the majority.
I don't see how they can stand it.
But you see what I'm saying, though. I mean, it is a mini United States.
But I think some of them are leaving.
They are.
It's just so liberal because it's on fire.
Right. But the people there.
It's just terrible.
They are just. You know, there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah,
it's just like
they have to suffer. Yeah.
So, but that's the same way. I mean, you know, so there's, and what's amazing, like on my trip I took, we only went through one city. So once we got out of LA, you know, or southern LA, the beaches, but after that, it was like we were taken care of, we were safe, people would do anything for us. I mean, if we had a problem, they would do anything they could for us. From one coast to the other coast, anything they could.
Oh.
Which is so different than people that go to New York
Cities, yes.
and cities, and it's like,
Yeah.
are they going to, they're going to get mugged or killed or, whatever.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. But outside, which is what I consider the real America. But it's not really the real America.
Yeah.
The cities are real America too. We've got to embrace, we've got to embrace that as America as well.
Yes, of course. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, but the whole of the inside of America is different from the coast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought the interview was over, but you see, the greater part probably came.
Also, you can find me on Instagram, where you can see different posts, videos, guides, and also vocabulary that can be useful for you. Analysis of movies and TV series by me. So yes, you can find the link in the description.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.